Vitalik is joining in on a recent controversial interview that Michael Saylor conducted. A lot of people are chiming in on this, and I covered this a few days ago, but now it's like it seems to be like gaining more backlash. So I guess I'll play it for you guys. It is pretty damning. And it did seem like Michael Saylor did a complete 180. And it could be because now MicroStrategy is a darling of Wall Street under a lot of scrutiny. And, you know, he knows the SEC, CFTC, and every government agency is looking at him closely now. And he has big ambitions for MicroStrategy. Maybe that's it. Or maybe like everything he said about Bitcoin at the beginning, he never believed in at all. And it was just a way for him to make a lot of money and bring exposure to MicroStrategy. I don't know, but you know, Vitalik basically said that to sum up, Saylor's comments are batshit insane. He seems to be explicitly arguing for regulatory capture approach to protecting crypto. There's plenty of precedent for how the strategy can fail. And for me, it's not what crypto is about. And if you don't understand what's going on, or you didn't watch the interview, let's just watch it right now and you guys can understand. So basically, Saylor conducted this interview and he was arguing how Bitcoiners should actually trust custodians like banks and others to custody Bitcoin rather than take a stand of self-custody. And it's just a complete 180 from what he has said from before. So let's take a listen. Let me get this ready. And then somehow he called all the Bitcoiners, Bitcoin maxis, anarchist. Okay, I can't say it now. You guys listen to it.
If there is more Bitcoins held with these third-party custodians, what risk does that pose, having greater supply held by fewer large institutions? Does that increase the risk of seizure and confiscation like we've seen with gold? And is that not exactly what Bitcoiners don't want to happen?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think that when the Bitcoin is held by a bunch of crypto anarchists who aren't regulated entities, who don't acknowledge government or don't acknowledge taxes or don't acknowledge reporting requirements, that increases the risk of seizure. You have an OG crypto community that's very hardcore about it, but if you look at where all the money is, 99.9% of the money is actually in the traditional economy.
If you consider the Great Depression, I mean, people thought that their gold was safe in banks until the Executive Order of 1933. So we're not entirely safe. I mean, I know that's kind of a wild thing to suggest may happen again, but history does repeat itself. So people's Bitcoin wouldn't be entirely safe. It's
people say that, but mostly it's paranoid crypto anarchists that say that. Okay? Because it's a myth and a trope that goes on over and over again. But first of all, he didn't really seize the gold. People voluntarily turned in the gold. They didn't go and kick in everybody's door, arrest them, shoot them, and take their gold. That never happened. Is the United States on the Bitcoin standard?
Maybe we will be soon.
But the point really is we're not. Right? It's totally not a reasonable comparison. You know, people have these inflammatory, tropes or inflammatory memes that they use. And it's like, I say that because I want you to give me your money. Okay? Like, if you don't trust the bank, then you'll buy my hardware wallet. If you don't trust this government, you'll move to my country and you'll buy a passport from me. That's the kind of fear-mongering to get you to give me your money, right? And I use it to sell you a gun, to sell you a hardware wallet, to sell you an account, to sell you a financial advisor, to sell you an insurance policy, to sell you fill in the blank.
Okay, so to me, it almost seemed like he threw El Salvador under the bus, basically selling the fear. He threw all hardware wallet makers under the bus for selling the fear of confiscation. He made the argument, he argued against the gold confiscation, and I'm pretty sure he used that argument himself before, saying that the US government has confiscated gold from people, and now he countered that saying, well, that's just nonsense. You don't have to worry about that. I'm pretty sure he himself, if we dig hard enough, he has used that argument before himself, and now he's saying, that's nonsense, don't worry about that. And he's saying everyone's an anarchist that truly believes in self-custody, since 99.9% of the world's financial wealth is in large institutions. We should trust the banks and financial institutions. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we all love Saylor, and we want to defend him, and we want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But like, this is a complete 180 from even the stuff that he was saying from 2020 till now. This is like a real big shift in his sentiment, and total big shift from all the maxis, obviously, and the maxis that have been supporting him for a long time. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you guys decide. You guys tell me if he's right or wrong, but like, this is complete. You know, like he was the one that was famous for doing that one interview early on and saying, you know what, you put all your Bitcoin on a ledger, and if they come after you and they want to tax you, just say you get in a boating accident, F you, you're not going to take my Bitcoin, you're not going to tax me, right? He was the one that said that early on. And now he's talking about, oh, how Bitcoin anarchists don't want to pay taxes and stuff. So I don't know what happened there. Bitcoin key levels here. So we're above the 200-day moving average. So that is very good. We got a lot of these metrics that show that Bitcoin is still moving on in the right direction. Here's a bull flag that we have broken out of, that show that we are mimicking a previous cycle in 2020. So we follow it. We're going to end the year and next year in a really, really good spot, really high spot. So that's good. Here's another one showing that we're following a previous cycle from 2017. That looks very, very similar. Double bottoms, sideways movement, and then boom, blast off again to a very high 2017.